Welcome to KP Law News, Florida. This next story is not out of Florida. It is out of my old home state of Arkansas. We lived there a while, and last February we decided to relocate down here to Florida since the name change. But I'm still subscribed to some of the news channels up there in Arkansas because they got a lot of bad cops and everything going on up there. Just check out the Random Patriots channel and see what he's going through right now. It's a mess. So I always, if an interesting article comes up or a news story or something out of Arkansas, I try to cover it if I can. So this one is out of Fort Smith up in the northwest area of the state. I was down near Little Rock, so this is kind of far from where I lived. But still, it's crazy. They got some bad cops up there in Fort Smith, and 6 of them just lost their job. So let's cover the story. There's 2 videos here. Let's cover the first news story and see what's going on up there in Fort Smith.
Smith police have fired 6 officers over allegations of hazing and misconduct.
5 News reporter Rachel Williams has been in Fort Smith today gathering details on the investigation that led to these firings.
Fort Smith Police Public Information Officer Eric Mitchell says as long as he's been here, there has never been an incident like this before. This all comes from reports in December making authorities aware of alleged hazing and horseplay by certain officers on the night shift. Officers are off the Fort Smith streets, all accused of misconduct, some potentially criminal acts. The terminated officers are Rodrigo Roque, Michael DiAgostino, Danny Nickelbaum, Seth Dominic, Johnny Lee, and Dalton Tucker.
The longest tenured officer who was involved in this was about 3.5 years with the department.
Fort Smith Police released a statement on Monday with Chief Baker saying he's deeply troubled that this was going on. He apologized to the victims' officers, saying the 6 men do not represent the department. The group is accused of various acts, including name-calling, threats to withhold backup during dangerous situations if their orders weren't followed, threatening officers with tasers, and even pointing loaded weapons at the victims.
Wow.
But at this time, none are facing criminal charges because the victims have decided not
to
pursue
criminal charges.
To
Come on now.
You
think was just the Blue Line gang taking up? They're not going to. They want them fired, but they're not going to. They don't want to pursue charges. That is crazy to me. So let's continue.
Pursue that criminal charge there. They certainly have that right to pursue that if they choose to do so. Right now, yes, we have terminated. We're also actively seeking the decertification of their credentials from CLIS.
Remember that,
don't know
or
how long the dangerous
decertification.
behaviors
Remember
have been
that
going
part.
on and are still investigating all the details. Mitchell says public safety will not be affected with 6 officers being removed from the night shift.
The current number, we have 164 is what we're authorized for. So we've been in a pretty good position as far as manpower goes to where it shouldn't affect the deployment of our services.
In a statement, Fort Smith Police Chief Danny Baker said he wanted to acknowledge and thank those who came forward. But for now, I'm in Fort Smith covering news where you live. Rachel Williams, 5 News.
Wow, it's crazy. Hazing and horseplay with some criminal charges. They should be charged. They didn't get fired. They should be charged. How about losing their police certification? Are they going to get hired at a nearby police department or a sheriff's department or something? Well, I don't know. That's covered as is in this next video. Let's get to it.
Smith police officers off the job tonight over allegations of hazing and misconduct. Police Chief Danny Baker says he is deeply troubled over the results of a recent internal investigation. That investigation accuses those officers on the night shift patrol of pointing loaded firearms at fellow officers.
And according to the chief, the officers are also accused of threatening to withhold backup in dangerous situations. Now the department says they're requesting to decertify all of those 6 officers involved. 5 News reporter Lauren Spencer is digging into what the next steps look like. Hey, Lauren.
Yeah, pretty serious stuff here. Today, Fort Smith police described this as an appalling situation to go on in such a professional environment where there's so much public trust. Tonight, I looked into the requirements to decertify an officer, as Fort Smith police are now calling for those 6 former officers to no longer be allowed to work at any other departments in the state. Rodrigo Roque, Michael D'Agostino, Danny Nakalabin, Seth Dominic, Johnny Lay, and Dalton Tucker are no longer Fort Smith police officers.
We want the public to know that we expect accountability from us just as much as they do.
And the department says their goal is to make sure they can't be at any other department in Arkansas through decertification.
It's any law enforcement.
Their goal is to make sure they can't be at any other department in Arkansas through decertification.
It's any law enforcement agency's responsibility to let people know that these types of individuals are out there.
The process is led by the state's Commission on Law Enforcement Standards and Training. In documents from the Department of Public Safety, the process involves a written notice and a hearing. The Commission can revoke certification over a few reasons. Some are failure to meet minimum requirements, conduct that is punishable by law, and committing a violation of the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics. If an officer wants to argue the decertification, they can request a hearing within 20 days of the notice. They can then plead their case to a commission in a public meeting, which they have around every 2 months. Department heads must have a letter of justification or other documentation requested by the commission if they want to request decertification. These actions the former officers in Fort Smith are accused of could be deemed criminal, like pointing a firearm at another person.
It's aggravated assault.
There you go.
But the 6 terminated officers are not facing criminal charges at this time, as none of the officers who were victim of threats with firearms are pressing charges right now.
We've consulted with them they have that option if they want to pursue that.
Fort Smith police say they are still investigating the situation, and I've reached out to some of the terminated officers, and they haven't responded.
Of course
Lauren
not.
Spencer, 5 News.
They're hiding. They are hiding. But yeah, decertify. Whoops. Let me get it. There we go. Decertify. So they can't become another officer or officer in another nearby town, sheriff's department, county sheriff, whatever. Jailer, dog catcher, whatever. No. They've already been fired, so they should be charged and they should be decertified. That's my opinion. I think that everybody agrees with that. Bad cops doing that kind of stuff don't need to be around because who knows what they're going to do next. Crazy stuff up there in Fort Smith, Arkansas. Let me know what y'all think about this situation. Anything comes up out of it, updates, I'll try to bring them right here. So I appreciate everybody watching. Everybody have a good day. KP Law News Florida out.